Hello, aviation enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have an intriguing topic to discuss. We'll be counting down the top 10 most infamous flight incidents in aviation history. From devastating crashes to dramatic emergencies, these incidents have left an indelible mark on the aviation world. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 10, Tenerife Airport Disaster. In 1977, two Boeing 747s collided on the runway of Tenerife's Los Rodeos Airport, resulting in 583 fatalities. Miscommunication and foggy conditions were key factors in this catastrophic incident.
As the fog persisted, the planes were directed to taxi down the same runway, causing a bottleneck. When the KLM plane was cleared for takeoff, the captain started the engines and began accelerating without clearance from the control tower. At the same time,
Number 9, Air France Flight 447. In 2009, this Airbus A330 vanished over the Atlantic Ocean during a flight from Rio de Janeiro to Paris. All 228 passengers and crew perished. The crash was later attributed to a combination of technical malfunctions and pilot error.
On June 1,
Number 8, United Airlines Flight 232.
In 1989, this DC-10 experienced a catastrophic engine failure, resulting in a loss of hydraulics. Despite the heroic efforts of the crew, 111 passengers died. However, 185 survived, thanks to their skillful emergency landing in Sioux City, Iowa.
On July 19, 1989, United Airlines Flight 232, a DC-10, was en route from Denver, Colorado, to Chicago, Illinois, when it experienced a catastrophic engine failure that led to a loss of hydraulics. The plane was carrying 296 passengers and crew. The pilots struggled to control the plane as it pitched and rolled in the air. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to steer the plane using the usual controls due to the loss of hydraulic pressure. The situation was dire, with only the thrust from the remaining engines as their sole means of control. One of the experts said that the pilots had to rely on differential engine thrust to try and steer the plane. It's an extremely difficult technique to master, and even then, it's not guaranteed to work in a situation like this. And another expert said that the fact that 185 people survived the crash is a testament to the skillful emergency landing by the crew. They managed to guide the plane towards Sioux City, Iowa, and bring it down on the runway. It was an incredible feat of airmanship. The crash claimed the lives of 111 passengers, but 185 survived, thanks to the heroic efforts of the crew and the first responders who arrived at the scene. The National Transportation Safety Board later determined that the cause of the accident was a manufacturing defect in the engine's fan disc. The legacy of United Airlines Flight 232 is one of courage, skill, and tragedy.
Number 7, Korean Airlines Flight 007. In 1983, this Boeing 747 was shot down by a Soviet fighter jet, leading to the death of all 269 people on board. The incident raised tensions during the Cold War and highlighted the dangers of military action against civilian aircraft.
On September 1, 1983, Korean Airlines Flight 007, a passenger plane carrying 269 people, including 61 Americans, was shot down by a Soviet fighter jet over the Sea of Japan. The flight had departed from New York City's JFK International Airport and was en route to Seoul, South Korea, when it deviated from its scheduled course and entered Soviet airspace. The Soviet Union claimed that they believed the plane was a U.S. spy plane and had intentionally violated their airspace. However, the United States and South Korea maintained that the plane had strayed off course due to a navigational error. The tragic incident resulted in the loss of all 269 passengers and crew members on board, and it remains one of the deadliest aviation disasters in history. The victims of Cal 007 are remembered every year, and the incident continues to be a reminder of the importance of international cooperation and communication to prevent such tragedies in the future.
Number 6. Germanwings Flight 9525. In 2015, this Airbus A320 crashed in the French Alps, killing all 150 passengers and crew. It was later determined that the co-pilot intentionally caused the crash, leading to discussions on mental health screening for pilots.
On March 24, 2015, Germanwings Flight 9525, an Airbus A320 plane, was en route from Barcelona, Spain to Düsseldorf, Germany. However, the flight never made it to its destination. The plane crashed into the French Alps, killing all 150 passengers and crew on board. The cause of the accident was initially unknown, but investigators soon discovered a shocking truth. It was later revealed that the co-pilot had intentionally crashed the plane, taking the lives of all those on board. The co-pilot had a history of mental illness and had concealed his condition from his employer. The incident led to discussions on the need for better mental health screening for pilots, as well as the importance of creating a culture of openness and transparency within the aviation industry. The loss of 150 innocent lives was a tragedy that deeply affected the families and loved ones of those on board. The aviation industry continues to work towards improving safety measures and addressing mental health concerns to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. Germanwings Flight 9525 will always be remembered as a stark reminder of the importance of mental health screening and the need for greater transparency in the aviation industry.
Number 5. Japan Airlines Flight 123. In 1985, this Boeing 747 experienced a catastrophic structural failure, resulting in the loss of all but 4 of the 524 passengers and crew. Despite the damage, the pilots managed to keep the aircraft flying for an extended period, showcasing their remarkable skill. Number 4. Pan Am Flight 103. In 1988, this Boeing 747 exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland, due to a terrorist bomb. All 259 passengers and crew on board perished, along with 11 people on the ground. The incident led to significant changes in aviation security measures.
On December 21, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103, a Boeing 747, was flying from London to New York when it exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland. The incident was later attributed to a terrorist bomb, planted on the aircraft by Libyan operatives. The explosion was devastating, killing all 259 passengers and crew on board, as well as 11 people on the ground. The tragedy rocked the aviation industry and the world. In the aftermath of the Pan Am Flight 103 disaster, significant changes were made to aviation security measures. The incident highlighted the need for improved screening of passengers and luggage, as well as enhanced security protocols for airport staff and crew. The impact of the tragedy was felt around the world, with memorials and tributes erected in honor of the lives lost. The incident also sparked global cooperation in the fight against terrorism, as nations worked together to prevent similar attacks from happening again. Today, we remember the tragedy of Pan Am Flight 103 and the lives lost in the terrorist attack.
Number 3. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17. In 2014, this Boeing 777 was shot down by a missile over Ukraine, resulting in the loss of all 298 passengers and crew. The incident raised concerns about the use of civilian aircraft in conflict zones and the need for improved airspace safety.
On July 17, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, a Boeing 777, was flying over Ukraine en route to Kuala Lumpur when it was shot down by a missile, resulting in the tragic loss of all 298 passengers and crew on board. The downing of the aircraft raised serious concerns about the use of civilian aircraft in conflict zones and the need for improved airspace safety measures. Investigations later revealed that the missile was fired from a surface-to-air missile launcher in an area controlled by pro-Russian separatists. The incident sparked global outrage and led to calls for increased accountability and responsibility in airspace management. International efforts were made to improve airspace safety, including the establishment of no-fly zones and increased cooperation among nations in conflict zones. The tragedy of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 will always be remembered, with memorials and tributes erected in honor of the lives lost. The incident also highlighted the need for continued efforts to improve air travel safety, so that such tragedies can be prevented in the future. Today, we remember the lives lost on Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 and reaffirm our commitment to improving airspace safety measures.
Number 2. American Airlines Flight 191. In 1979, this DC-10 crashed just moments after takeoff from Chicago O'Hare International Airport.
American Airlines Flight 191 was a scheduled flight from Chicago O'Hare International Airport to Los Angeles. On May 25, 1979, just moments after takeoff, the DC-10 aircraft experienced a catastrophic engine detachment, resulting in a loss of control and eventual crash. All 271 passengers and crew on board, as well as 2 people on the ground, lost their lives in the tragedy. Investigations later revealed that the engine detachment was caused by a maintenance error, highlighting the importance of proper maintenance procedures and vigilance in aviation safety. The American Airlines Flight 191 accident was a tragic reminder of the importance of adherence to proper maintenance procedures in ensuring aviation safety. In the wake of the accident, significant changes were made to aviation safety regulations and maintenance practices to ensure that such incidents would not occur again.
Let's continue with the countdown. And finally, the most infamous flight incident in aviation history, our number 1, September 11th attacks. In 2001, for commercial flights, including American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175, were hijacked by terrorists who deliberately crashed them into the World Trade Center towers in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. This devastating terrorist attack resulted in the loss of thousands of lives and had a profound impact on aviation security measures worldwide, leading to significant changes in air travel safety protocols and regulations.
On the morning of September 11, 2001, 4 commercial flights were hijacked by terrorists with the intention to cause destruction and chaos. American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175 were flown into the World Trade Center towers in New York City, causing the collapse of both buildings and resulting in the loss of thousands of lives. Another flight, American Airlines Flight 77, was flown into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., resulting in significant damage and loss of life. The 4th flight, United Airlines Flight 93, was believed to be headed for another target, but crashed in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers bravely fought back against the hijackers. The attacks were carried out by members of the extremist group Al-Qaeda, who had carefully planned and coordinated the hijackings. The use of commercial airliners as weapons was a shockingly effective tactic and highlighted the vulnerability of the aviation industry to terrorist attacks. In the aftermath of the attacks, the aviation industry underwent significant changes to improve security measures and prevent similar tragedies from occurring. Airports around the world implemented new security protocols, including increased passenger screening, restrictions on liquids and other items, and the deployment of more advanced screening technologies. The creation of the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, in the United States and similar agencies in other countries further bolstered aviation security efforts. The September 11th attacks were a tragic reminder of the need for constant vigilance and ongoing efforts to improve aviation safety and security. The aviation industry has made significant strides in the years since, but the memories of that fateful day continue to shape aviation policy and practice to this day.
God. So both towers are now.
Today, we remember the lives lost on about the aviation history and pay tribute to the crew and first responders who bravely responded to the tragedy. Their sacrifice and dedication serve as a reminder of the importance of continued efforts to improve aviation safety, so that such tragedies can be prevented in the future. And there you have it, the 10 most infamous flight incidents in aviation history. These tragedies serve as sobering reminders of the importance of constant vigilance and commitment to safety in aviation. May we never forget the lessons learned from these incidents as we strive to make air travel safer for all.
These were the top 10 most infamous flight incidents in aviation history. Each of these incidents has had a lasting impact on the aviation industry, leading to improved safety measures, changes in regulations, and lessons learned to prevent similar incidents in the future. It serves as a solemn reminder of the importance of safety in air travel and the continuous efforts made to ensure the well-being of passengers and crew. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating aviation content. Thanks for watching. Fly safe and take care. Until next time, this is Quick Tech Marketing signing off.